All right. Hey, welcome to Business Building and Precious Metals, our weekly webinar where we discuss how to build a business while building wealth. And so we have Scott Zuckman with us today, like every week. Thanks for being here, Scott, and everybody in the chat. So we're just kind of finding out who all is already a member and who's kind of new on here right now. So like always, feel free to invite people to this webinar each week. It's free of charge. We created a really handy little link you guys can use too to send to people for them. I'll put it in the chat box right now as well. So if you want to share this with anybody, it's got the link on there for this webinar. It has the link on there for the replay list, so you can watch all the replays each week if you happen to miss one. And then there's an opportunity call that's corporate that sometimes Tony and Scott do as well, and other guests that talk about the opportunity. So the link for that is right there on that Linktree/7K promo link. So you guys have access to everything. And then anytime, if you ever want to talk with one of us, the information to chat with us is on there as well. So we can get a call scheduled with you. And then anytime there's any new events or special promotions, any new webinars that we do, like we'll every now and then just do like a pop-up webinar where we're talking about a specific subject. We'll put those right on that link as well. So that's kind of all things right there. And there's also at the top, you'll see there's a link for the Facebook page. So that's the Facebook group that we have. There's also a link for WhatsApp. It doesn't lead you to the WhatsApp group, but if you add me on WhatsApp, I'll know that you're from, or tell me you're from 7K, and I'll add you to the WhatsApp 7K Eagles Nest group as well. And then I need to add the Slack channel on there too, Scott, right? Is that the only other means of communication?
That's right. The Slack channel, you can add that on there. I think that'd be a good idea.
So I'll have the Slack. So a lot of that's for members only too. Like the Slack channel is for members only, but like the Facebook group and stuff is for anybody. So.
Okay. Good. And by the way, Victor asked a question, so he hangs in here. We're going to talk about collectible coins as part of the talk, but not the entire focus of what we'll be talking on today. As always, I'm going to start with why precious metals make sense in today's economy, especially for new listeners, people who've not been on this call before. As a matter of fact, if you're a newcomer to this call, this webinar, can you go in the chat and just put a 1? Just type in the number 1 in the chat so I can see who and how many are new to this information, because I definitely want to fill you in. Okay, Daniel, John, I'm sure we have a few more. Great, Victor, thank you. Aldrin, or Adrian.
Check this one out, Scott, while they're doing that. Just we were talking about the coins this week. I got this one in the mail this week. The can you see it?
You got it on blur.
I know. I got to put my green screen up. I'm working on doing that because I think it'll clear it up a little bit. But let me just unblur it for 1 second. You guys can see what I'm talking about. So this one just came in the mail this week. This was one of the coin drops like a week or two ago, and it was the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier.
Oh, that's so nice.
Thought it was pretty cool. It says Honor Guard on there. That was a pretty one. So just got that. I actually got 2 of these in the mail this week. So I was going to stick one on Stack and Sell just to play around with it.
And you're going to get a profit on that. And we'll cover Stack and Sell a little bit today.
If you look behind me real fast before I go to blur, I got these little coins, these little stands. So I'm starting to line up all the coins that I get like on these little stands. They're really cool. Like when people come over, they're like, oh, wow, that's pretty cool. So anyway.
It's a great conversation starter, and it helps tell you, you can talking to people about precious metals. I do them where I have them in display boxes. And then I just carry the box and I open it up and people are like, whoa, yay. Yeah. Okay, well, let's get rolling. And Stephen, as always, maybe you can lead an intro into the point is we're talking about precious metals as another way of preserving wealth and accumulating wealth, even if you have other businesses that you are doing in your personal life, even if you are doing like lending, personal banking, and all of the things at Money School and all the Money Matters things that you talk about, how this fits intertwined and how you and Noggle are really taking advantage of it. So if you want to maybe open with a little intro of that, then I can take over whenever you like and talk about what's happening. I've got some news to break today for everybody on the line that a lot of people haven't heard yet.
Yeah, no, that'll be awesome, Scott. So yeah, so a lot of you guys I know on here, especially if you're coming from the Chris Noggle network, the Money School, Money Multiplier network. And so as you all know, we talk all about taking control of your money, and everything we talk about is building wealth, taking advantage of different laws that are in place, things of that nature. So, what we do is, we obviously teach, the different buckets of where money can be held, and we want to take full advantage of everything. So things like, your IRA, your retirement money, old 401ks, moving those into self-directed accounts. And we're almost there where we can use our Horizon Trust self-directed accounts to purchase metals with 7K. So we're just putting the final pieces on that to be able to do that. So we'll be able to do that with our Horizon accounts, because that's who I have my self-directed accounts with, as well as Horizon. So I need to be able to do that myself. And I know a lot of you. And then we look at the other bucket of the money that's in our own privatized banks. So, we talk about recapturing money, building wealth with that money, while it simultaneously compounds uninterrupted within that banking policy. And then we look at, cash and as the other bucket of just money that's kind of not any advantage. But the problem with cash right now is it's getting eroded away by inflation. What a dollar is buying you today is buying you less next month, is buying you next 6 months from next year. It's just getting less and less and less. So, a lot of what we talk about with, precious metals is exchanging that cash that's losing value for something like gold or silver that historically always does very well, especially in high inflationary times. And Scott, I know you're going to talk a little bit more about that here in just a second. So when we look at like our all seasons portfolio, so we have an event coming up next month. And if anybody's joining us, I'll put in the chat box. It's in Buffalo, New York. It's the first live Money School Essentials training that we've done since COVID. So we've done, I don't know, probably done 10 or 12 virtual trainings like this since COVID hit on Zoom. This is the first one we're bringing back that's going to be live. So that's, if you guys aren't registered for it yet, we do have a virtual option, but I highly recommend going live in person, because of people that we have coming there are Scott, do you know Dan Clark by chance?
Dan Clark, no.
Dan Clark, no.
Not sure if I do.
So Dan Clark, and I'm not 100% he'll be at the event yet, but he's like in the Speaker Hall of Fame. He's a national, world-renowned speaker, speaks for presidents and Congresses and the military and things like that. But we have so many cool people that are going to be in Buffalo for that event. And we're talking about so many different topics, everything from real estate investing to wholesaling to flipping to private money lending to crypto investing to options trading. But precious metals is a part of that. So we talk about the all seasons portfolio, and a little tiny slice, about 5% of your portfolio is what we're recommending right now to be in stocks. That's it, because the stock market's going to crash. So we need to have our money in places, but we can't let it sit in cash. So that's where, to me, precious metals really comes into play, because it allows us to easily move, especially 7K, which we'll talk about in a second. This company that we're buying, everyone on here right now is buying gold and silver from 7K Metals. And the reason we're doing it is because they make it very, very easy. The silver I buy, I don't even have to ship it to my house. I keep it in my Sound Money wallet, just like my PayPal account, just like my crypto trading account. Except for precious metals, it's called a Sound Money wallet. So they make it very easy. But I also buy collectibles. So what I keep in the Sound Money wallet is what we consider a defensive strategy. So this is something that's going to defend against inflation. It's going to defend against what's going on in the economy right now, and it's going to keep my wealth high as we go. But I don't want to just play defensive. I also want to play offensive. And so like those coins I was showing you a second ago behind me, and I was just showing you right there, this is what we call MS70 graded collectible coins. And these coins have the potential to go way up in value very, very quickly. Defensive like Bullion and Silver Eagles and things like that are going to slowly go up historically, right? And beat inflation. But these collectibles are going to be that play that's going to make you a little bit more money a little bit quicker than that long-term play. And that's where it becomes fun. And you start learning about different, mints, and you start learning about, hey, there's only 500 of these things made in the world. And then they have collections, and it just becomes a lot of fun. And that's the basics around what 7K is. It's why I why I seek out 7K. I interviewed probably a half a dozen different precious metals companies and dealers and people that play in that industry. And I finally settled on 7K because the support team is like no other, with Scott, with Jesse, with Tony, with Leland. with the Eagles group. It's amazing what they've done. And any questions you have, any support. I mean, I see Scott literally responding to students, that's an old industry term, responding to our clients and our tribe and our members and things like that, late at night. Like I see Claire on here right now. Claire had some challenges. We worked with Claire over a week and we ended up, getting it all fixed for her. So there's always somebody there to help you, but more importantly, explain to you the right type of silver or gold you should be buying, how to set that up on a monthly basis so you can just dollar cost average stuff. So we're right there to help you. And then it goes beyond that even. And that's what Scott alluded to earlier a little bit, and why we call this not only precious metals, but also business building with precious metals. Because if you start like showing off your collection of silver and you start like saying, hey, I'm trading in my worthless dollars for actual hard assets in precious metals, people are going to ask you, well, how are you doing that? Like, where do I go buy that? And if you tell them, hey, all you do is just go talk to Scott, sign up just like you would at Costco or Amazon for this membership based company. It's only members can buy at these wholesale prices through 7K. So go sign up for it. Well, if you're going to refer them to 7K, why not get paid for it? So there's a business aspect to this where you can get referral commission just for sending people over to them. So it's kind of a win-win situation where you're able to build wealth while simultaneously building a side business for yourself. And if COVID taught you nothing else, it's the importance of multiple streams of income, because your job can go away just like that. Your salary can be cut just like that. But if that happens, but you have other money coming in from things like private lending, through things like this business right here, through things like real estate investing, then you're not hurt as bad financially, and it's not financial ruin for you when you have other income coming in that can at least make you get by until you can get back on your feet for your primary gig. And who knows, maybe it turns into a full-time thing. I mean, Tony was on with us last week and the previous week and talked about how he was in corporate America and got into network marketing and fell out of it and went back to corporate America. And now he's been back in, this industry for 10 years and he's killing it, like doing an amazing job, and he loves his life now. So to me, it's just a beautiful thing from the very beginning to end and every aspect of it. So I don't know if that's kind of what you were looking for, Scott, but I just wanted to go on a little rant there for a second, and
I love
appreciate
it.
everybody being on here today too.
Do it more. Do it more. Hey, I also, a couple people put in the chat that they couldn't hear me, so I changed the audio setting. Do I sound louder?
You
For
sound, you
those of
sound
you
fine to
who
me. Yeah, I mean, it sounds kind of the same, but yeah, you're good.
you can hear me fine. Okay, if I'm sounding fine to you, but other people are thinking I'm low, check your own speaker level on your computer and see if your volume is low, because sometimes that happens. But I've got my volume cranked all the way to the max, so that's about as good as I can do. Okay, so let's get rolling with that. Let's go through a little history lesson for people who are brand new to this whole precious metals idea. Let me make sure that you understand that gold and silver have been money forever. Thousands of years has been traded for goods and services. That is how it came about. Paper money is a more modern historical thing, really. And any culture that really gets money right backs their paper money with precious metals. And in fact, the United States did this all the way up to 1971 when Nixon took us off of the gold standard. When that happened, then there was nothing backing the US dollar except the word of the government. And because of that, we had already established the US dollar as the world's currency basis. So everything based off of the US dollar. And that still, for the most part, is true, except now it's changing drastically with Russia dropping all ties to the US because we seized hundreds of billions of their dollars in US banks. And they said, well, we're never doing anything ever again in US dollars. Then China followed along. And, they're trying to put pressure on OPEC to, this is one of the reveals that I have for you all today on the call that a lot of you don't even know is happening. And you can look it up. Everything I say, you can go Google and find it to be true. Is that they're putting pressure on OPEC, which is dollar based. All oil in the world and coming through all of OPEC is based on the US dollar. However, Russia is the second largest exporter of oil. And so, aside from OPEC, and they are trying to put pressure on them to say, stop taking the U.S. dollar. Let's make it a ruble. And they are backing their ruble with gold now. And the U.S. is not stupid. Well, maybe sometimes they are, but every now and then they get their act together. And here's the other news flash that most people on this call don't know is a fact, is that the U.S. government has always bought gold to keep in reserves. I mean, you all have heard of Fort Knox. You've all heard of the U.S. Reserve and the Treasury. These keep gold based on all the money that was in circulation up to 1971, because prior to 71, it still had to be backed. So they still needed to keep that gold, but they stopped buying more. And the purchase of gold has gone way down. And then come COVID, 2020, the U.S. government put multi-trillions of dollars of money out of thin air for all of the aid and all of the support and all of the things that we had to do to get past. But because of that, the U.S. dollar has been losing value because it's getting diluted by the trillions and trillions of new dollars going in the economy. A friend of mine likes to say that the government must have lost its mind in 2020 because more money was added to the M1 money supply, which is a measure of how much the government prints to what's in circulation. More money was added in just 2020 than had ever been added in the history of this company since its founding 250 years ago. It's insane. And someone has to pay the piper for that. And who is? Anybody who drives a car that isn't electric. Anybody who pays for gas, anybody who pays for groceries, anybody who pays for clothes, anybody who pays for airfare, you name it, it is skyrocketing high. And it's not just because it costs more for those things, it's because the dollar that's buying those things is worth less. Hence, it takes more dollars to buy those things. And that's why the prices are going up. But what makes it worse is the Fed. I literally saw Joe Biden on, who was that? Jimmy, not the Kimmel one, the other Jimmy, whatever the late night show. Anyway, he had Biden on last night, and he was saying things like, "Oh yeah, inflation. Oh yeah, that happens." But what he was trying to say is, "Oh, our productivity is up. The U.S. Budget is up. The government is up. Everything is up. But the reality is, what's really up is inflation." And we have hit a 40-year high, guys. And the reason is you can't have prices going down when the dollar has been saturated and overprinted. It has to happen. Prices are up, everything is up. So because of this, it's going to take a while to turn around. And what the government does is the Fed, the Federal Reserve, actually starts raising interest rates to cool down the economy. The reason Biden says the economy is heating up is because prices are going up, which means more profit for those companies producing these things. Big oil has never made so much profit as they are making with the price of gas going up as it is now. So let me be really clear about this. It's not going to stop by itself. So the Fed raises interest rates to slow it down. Guess what ends up happening? When interest rates go up, then it costs more for businesses to borrow, and therefore they start borrowing less, which is supposed to cool down the inflation. Problem is, that doesn't happen for quite some time. And as a result, we're stuck with this. So if we have 8.5% inflation, that means if you had $10,000 sitting in the bank, you're only going to have what? You're going to lose 8.5% of it. So yeah, call it 10%. Your 10,000 would go down to 9,000. I can do that.
9,250. There you go, Jason. Jason, I'll bring Jason on here from now on.
Thank you. So 9,250. Jason got me covered. So here's my point. Is you've just lost money by doing nothing but having it sit in a bank. If you had it in precious metals, it would go up. Let me show you what's happened just recently. I'm going to share my screen if you don't mind. And I just pulled up a chart on gold and silver, and hopefully y'all can see this on the screen right now. All right, here we go. Let's look at the one on the right. That's silver. And I did 1 year history. Okay. Now I enrolled in as a member in 7K in the beginning of December, and silver was right about $22, where I'm holding this little arrow right now. Okay. So right at 22. Then it started rising and creeping up to 24. And then it popped back down a little bit in a few days. And then it started creeping up really good for a matter of weeks up until about $25, $26. And then it just hung around there for around 25 for a while. And then the short sellers in the stock market started selling it short and dropped it all the way down to 22 again, or 20, I mean, from 25. That's a 20% drop in just a few days. And that's what Wall Street is doing to you. But look, it's kind of consolidated again back here around 22. So we're back where we were 6 months ago. And here's my point. Silver had been going down because the economy had been not, great, not hot and all that. And this is just 1 year. I could go back 5 years and you'd see an overall trend up. But this is just short term. This is the point I'm trying to make right here. We have an opportunity of buying silver at the lowest price it's been for a long, long time. And what if the Fed, and that's what I was going to tell you, the other secret, has started buying gold to back up the dollars that they're printing. And they can't begin to, but they're buying more. They bought in the last 2 months more gold than they have in the last 20 years to store. Now, what does that tell you? It tells you the government knows it's going to need gold because the dollar is losing value. And if the government knows they need to be buying gold and silver, what do you think you should be doing? The answer is buying gold and silver. And if you just look at this 6 month chart, going back to when I came in here, gold was around 1780 and it peaked up here around $2,000 on March 8th. That's only a couple months ago, three months ago to be specific. Then it popped down to a new base, and then it's been slowly trending down. Why? Wall Street manipulating the prices again. So the moral of this story is here we're sitting close to about 1850 right now, and gold had historically hit over 4,000 before. So when this summer run up starts happening, and you can see we're at a valley, so guess what always happens? Another run up, because you can see plateau down, goes up, plateau, but it always seems to be higher than the last peak. Do you see what's going on? These old peaks here, less than a year ago, we're sitting around 1800, and now we're sitting around 1850. So our new plateau is higher than the old peak. And the same thing happens here for silver. And so these precious metals are going up, and the government is buying them. And my point is that the government is doing it. If Russia's doing it, if China's doing it, why don't you do it? So I hope that I get my point across there. Now, why do you think Fort Knox is so resistant to being audited? Cindy asked. And I think that is the greatest question I've ever heard. The reason is because, I mean, I'll tell you the reason they give, but the real reason is the money's not there anymore. That's just my 2 cents. I don't call me a conspiracy theorist, but I don't think it's there in Fort Knox anymore. I think they've moved it to the National Reserve, the Treasury. And I do believe that that's one of the reasons. But even if it was still sitting there, they wouldn't want it open because that tells you how much assets the government has. And the biggest reason, and if they learned that there wasn't enough assets to cover the dollars, every faith in the dollar would collapse and we would be garbage in world history. And speaking of garbage in world history, you all remember about the Deutschmarks and how those things dropped to where it took 1 trillion of them to equal one in the past. So, long story short, people would buy a loaf of bread with a wheelbarrow full of marks. And paper money was falling in the streets because it wasn't worth anything anymore. You couldn't wipe your butt with it. And I'm sorry if I'm being too gross for you, but you get my gist. So I do think that it's like it would be like revealing that the emperor had no clothes. And that is why the government has been recently buying so much gold and silver. Claire asked a question, Stephen, that you'd like to answer live. So why don't you do that real quick?
Yeah, I figure we could talk about it. So just the difference in PF70 and MS70,
It's almost identical.
which is better to accrue, if any?
No, I'll be happy to answer that if you want. The MS70 and PF70, a PF means proof, and a proof is a shinier version of an MS70. MS means mint state, but 70 means perfect. So ideally, there's really not a whole lot of value difference between a proof 70 and MS70. There is a big difference between proof 69 or MS69. Those are not worth as much as 70s are because collectors want perfection. They they don't want the Mona Lisa with a mustache painted on her. Okay, they don't want a Spider-Man comic book with you adding webs to the art. So again, you want it perfect and pristine, and so that is the difference. And I'm going to cover more about collectible coins in a few minutes when I say how they relate to bullion. Okay, so let me take that one back to going back. We're looking at bullion here on my screen. So let's talk for a minute about the different forms of metal. You have bullion format and you have collectible format. The bullion format are things like American Eagles, um, gold and silver rounds, bars. As a matter of fact, let me put my picture, my screen back on, and let me just show you bullion. This is an example of a 20 tube. It's a tube of 20 silver eagles. The silver eagles, I have one in a little plastic holder just to protect it, but that's what they look like. So there's 20 of them in here. And I can take them out, I can shake them, I can put them in my hand. These are just bullion. You can hold them, you can take it out of the plastic, you do whatever you want. They come in all shapes and sizes. Here is a ½ ounce bullion with a nice picture of an ox on it, but that's only half an ounce. So this on the market, a silver eagle is selling for close to $40. Okay, um, and that's the price people are charging for you to obtain them. And then there's other forms of it, like bars. And let me just grab a couple here. This is a silver bar, happens to be 5 ounces. So it literally is worth 5 times as much as this. But because it's not an eagle, you get a discount on these compared to eagles. Eagles are the #1 traded coin on the planet Earth. So they are by far and away more desirable. So the premium per ounce is higher. And that's why they're a little bit more expensive than, say, a bar. But that's a 5 ounce bar. Here is a 10 ounce bar. You would think this would be twice as much as its little baby brother. But it's just slightly less than twice as much because the bigger the bars, you get a little break on the per ounce price that you can buy it for. Here is a 100 ounce bar. You see where it says 100 ounce right there. Okay, that is like 7 pounds or something. It's very, very hefty. Just divide 100 by 16 and you'll find out how many pounds it is. But don't even ask me to do that. I'm sure Jason will have it in 30 seconds. But anyway, I have these, and they come in different forms. This is a form made by a company called JBR, and this is one by a company called Engelhard. I have this one wrapped in cellophane to keep the beautiful silver shininess. This is already getting a little air tarnish on it, but so be it. And people collect these. I keep them. I've had them for years. This one I just got recently, but the other one I've had for like 8, 9, 10 years, and it's done nothing but go up in value. So those are bullion, and gold comes in bullion also. You can buy a ½ ounce round piece of gold. You can buy a 1 ounce bar. This I got from 7K Metals on at great discount. You can get a 1 ounce coin. This is a bullion coin. I just have it in a little holder. And you can also buy bars of them if you wanted to as well. Obviously, it's hard to walk up to somebody and take it, say, "Will you take my gold bar in trade?" You know, they don't know what to do with it, or they don't. They'd have to melt it down or sell it to somebody else at a discount. But with 7K metals, what Steve was talking about earlier is we have a vault, and if you buy Eagles, U.S. Eagles, like these, you can keep them in the vault for free, and then you can trade them 24/7 back and forth. If you want cash, you could sell 1 or 2 or 3, 4 ounces. Listen, I was talking to a member recently, or a potential member, who was really worried about the fact that she was on this very show last week, and she was thinking she didn't have enough money to play in the game. And I want to point something out. It's a fallacy. It's a mistake. People have for years and years and years believed you had to be super uber wealthy. I mean, just because governments and banks and corporations can buy billions of dollars worth of bullion doesn't mean you as an individual have to have tons and tons of money. You really don't. Okay? So I really want to make sure that we're clear about is we allow people to buy fractions of Eagles because they have millions of dollars stored in the vault, and they're called non-segregated, meaning you have a separate accounting for yours, but an auditor keeps track of that. But if you wanted to buy, let's say silver, I mean, I'll take gold. Let's say it's $2,000 an ounce, and you only had $200. You could buy $200 worth of gold bullion in the form of Eagles that are sitting in the vault. So you don't need to buy a whole ounce. You can buy 100th or 10th of an ounce. You want to spend $20, you get 100th of an Eagle. And if you want to convert that back to $20 cash, you sell your 100th of an Eagle, and they will give you cash for it. And the buyback prices are above spot, so they're the best on the planet. My By the way, I also had a lot of Todd McFarlane signed stuff. I collected comic books. I had a flood in my house, and it wiped them all out, which really sucked. Insurance company wouldn't even pay me for them. Anyway, I digress. So there are lots of different forms of metals, and bullion is just really good to convert back and forth. But there's another one called collectibles. Collectibles are like those special comic books that are graded, and they're placed in holders that can't be hurt with water, or they can still burn, of course. But you know, these collectibles have been independently verified as accurate, as authentic, non counterfeit, and those are what collectors buy, and they pay a fortune. Mickey Mantle card just last year in mint condition sold for $5.6 million. When the card came out, it wasn't even worth a penny. And the whole point is, it's cardboard. It's just paper. Why is it worth $5.6 million? It's worth it because that's what people are willing to pay. And why are they willing to pay? Because it's rare, it's unique, it is low mintage or low printage, if you will. In coins, I'm used to saying mintage. But we have coins that are anything less than 10,000 in the universe of a given kind of coin is very rare. 5,000, almost impossible. 1,000 or less is tremendously valuable, and they have premiums. And I'm going to show you a different example. This is an elf. This is an elfin coin, and I got this on a site called Stack and Sell. It's a PF70. It's proof. Very shiny. It's got a picture of a nice elf on there. If you guys are all into sci-fi like me, you dig it. This thing has gone up double in price in less than a year. So that's just an example of a collectible coin. I'm going to show you one here that I got for $850. This is a panther, a black panther. Look at those eyes. Ooh, doggy. They stare right through you. Anyway, that black panther I bought for $850. It's a 5-ounce coin, okay, of silver. But it's black because they did a special process that doesn't hurt the silver, and it helps with the artistic value. So there's only 888 of these in the whole world ever printed and minted, and less of them are in the PF70 state. Perfect. These coins have sold recently for $1,500. When they're a friend of mine named Greg, he bought one for 850 and he sold it for 1450. He pocketed a $600 profit, and let me tell you, the process of selling it took 30 seconds. He clicked list it and it sold. Somebody said your coin is just sold in less than 1 minute, and he made 600 bucks just like that. And there's other coins like that. This Statue of Liberty coin, a 5 ounce, beautiful Miles Standish graded coin. This I bought for $750, and it's selling for $2,000 right now. If you have one that's a 69, they want 1,000, and I'm not even touching 69s. We send out a coin every single month to our members. It's called the Auto Saver Program, and I just happened to grab one. What is this one? Washington State. It's the Orca, and you get a coin like this from every single state. Now I'm going to show you how liquid they can be, and I'm going to show you why it makes sense as a side business to flip these coins, because I've been doing it. And I wouldn't tell you about something I haven't done. I know people that are making 6,000 bucks a month flipping these coins without reinvesting money out of their pocket. They're just reinvesting their profits, buying more coins, flipping those, and then just churning their profits up to where they're making $6,000 a month. So that is pretty cool. So to do that, I'm going to share my screen again. And I don't know if there's any questions popping up while I've been talking. I haven't been looking, but feel free to answer them if they do, Stephen.
Are you pulling up Stack and Sell?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I need to scan one of mine in actually.
Okay. So this is a website called stackandsell.com, and this is the overview marketplace. And there's a lot of coins listed. I'm going too fast for this thing to scroll through. But as you guys can see on the screens, there's any coin that is graded is eligible. There are people that are like here's a coin, Mexico Libertad, and someone is asking $85 for this. And the market value hasn't yet been determined, but anything that's graded can be listed. This is an MS70. It has got no 7K logo. This had nothing to do with 7K. People from all over the world are listing coins, and people from all over the world are starting to buy 7K coins because of the quality and the scarcity. And that is making a big difference. So you can go look for things. Let me show you one of our state animals. It was the very first one that we ever had. And we send them out every month, like I said, but this one's sold out because it was the first one and it happened last year. Here's an MS70 where my clicker is on, and let me bring it up to you. Right now, this sold last year for $139. Every one of our Autosaver state animal coins, which is the best ones going right now, sell for $139. That's what you would pay as a member. Never more, never less. $139. Well, the market value of this is $1,200 right now. And there's someone here, if you look on the right side, someone's asking $1,294. This is not a bidding thing. The seller says what the least they will accept is, and if somebody wants to pay it, they would have to say, yes, I'll take it for $1,294. Now this person underquoted someone else who asked for $1,295, someone else 14, someone else 15, and someone 1675. So this 1675 is not going to sell for a while for obvious reasons. But this 1294 is only $100 more than market value. And if somebody's trying to complete a collection, they might buy that. And I'm one of them. I don't have that coin, and I'm pissed because I've been watching it and it keeps going up. 3 weeks ago, this coin was $750. It is going nutso, and it's $1,200 in the market right now, and you'd have to pay $1,294 if you wanted to buy it. But what did that mean if you got one for $139 when it first came out? If you remember and you bought one, you didn't even have to think about it. They ship it to you every month. Look at that profit. That's insane. That's over $1,000 profit in less than a year. And percentage wise, your return on investment is in the tens of thousands of percent. But that is really good. Let me take you back and show you the second coin that was ever issued was Idaho. I hope you're all learning a little bit by going through this. I'm trying to teach as well. Here is the Idaho coin. 888 is the market value, but and that means based on past sales. But the lowest price anybody's willing to accept is 1,050 and 1,090 and 1,200. And by the way, I paid almost $1,000 to buy this coin recently because I don't have it. I wasn't a member then, and the only way I can get it is through Stack and Sell. And I know this market value is going to go up as soon as my sale registers. And by the way, I can prove that sale to you. All I do is go into my account, and I go into my purchases. These are things I bought from Stack and Sell. Idaho, I paid 1,115. So bummer. If I had just waited just a hair longer, I might have got it for 1,050. So
or it could have went to 1,500. You never know.
Or it might have. You never know. It's like the stock market, right? How many times do you hear it? Do I care? No, because I'm going to hold on to it. I'm also going to have a full set of all 50 states. There's only two coins that are not in my collection that are no longer being produced. One is Montana, that butterfly, and the other one is Texas. And that's because I'm trying to get Brenda to sell me hers. Brenda, message me after. Here's why. That's a Longhorn. And then here's an MS-70. And the current market value is listed at $315. A far cry higher than 139, but nowhere near the 1,000 like those other two coins. Somebody's willing to take 290 for it right now. So I'm thinking, and there's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 5. So there's 10 of them listed right now. And I figure these guys are going to start dropping their prices a little bit to compete with each other. And I know when it hits 250, I'm going to buy it. If it hits 250. If this thing pops back up to 300, I'll probably just grab it. And then I will only be missing one coin that I don't have, which is the Montana butterfly. Okay, so this is my strategy. You don't have to have it, but I've been buying them and selling them. So let me show you one other thing that is really cool. Here's my stack. Oh no, before I even show you, I'm gonna be really transparent. I'm gonna show you my dashboard. Okay, as of this moment, I have 86 coins that I've collected and scanned in here. I have another 15 of them coming in the next couple weeks. So I'll be over around 100. And then I have spent 17,534 on these 86 coins, which is an average of 200 bucks each. However, as of right now, if I were to sell them all at market value, not asking prices, but market value, I'd get 19.5, which is a $2,000 profit. And that's an 11.6% increase since I started stacking coins on this site in January. So for call it 6 months, that is 11%. That's 23.2% a year valuation of increase. So
God, mine's at, I just pulled mine up. I only have 12 coins in here, but I'm at 38.8% increase in market value.
Ah, you bastard, you bought the right ones.
I got to put this new one in. I'm going to put this new one in. Should I scan it in? You guys want to see how to scan one in? It's really cool.
Oh yeah. Why don't you go on your desk and show it?
Because I haven't scanned it in. I haven't scanned it in yet. So let me share mine, Scott, and then I'll just show them, and then you can go back to yours real fast.
That's fine.
Let me show them how to scan it in. All right. Anyway, so I only have 12 coins in there right now, but let's see. So where do you go to? Where do I go again? Dashboard or my stack?
Wait, to scan it in? My stack.
I mean, look at all this stuff showing me the equity. Look at that one. This one down here is cool. Look at that 200 in equity. That one's a good one. All right.
You got the Legacy of the Pharaohs too. That's a big one.
All right,
okay, so you hit add item and then go to scan graded coin.
And then yes, scan. And then I don't know if it'll work with. Oh, it is gonna work. Cool. All right, so you guys can't see it on the screen, but it's got this like blue line across the screen where you're supposed to line up the barcode on here. So you just line it up with your camera. Did you guys hear that?
Yeah, yeah. We see the line and heard the beep.
And there. So then if you want to do another one, you just hit scan another, which I do have 2 of these, but I'll just do one for right now. Well, actually, I might as well do both of them, huh?
Might as well. Scan. It takes 1 second. And folks, we're showing you this because a lot of people don't understand what a value this particular tool can be. But while Stephen's getting that, I want to answer something else that was just brought up in the Q&A. So let me do that while he's scanning. And this is from Michael David, who made a really good comment. On another training that Stephen and I did, I had mentioned buying gold and silver as a hedge. Let me explain that because I didn't tie this all together. Bullion is a hedge against inflation, and collectibles are an offensive strategy. Bullion is a defensive strategy. Bullion goes up when the dollar goes down. Bullion goes up when interest rates go up. So it's defensive. Collectibles go up regardless of whether gold and silver prices go up. But when gold and silver goes up, they go up even faster, 5 to 8 times faster. So it's a leveraged play. And all of you people on this call, surely you understand leverage. It's making a lot from a little. And so the collectibles are a leveraged play. That's how Snaggy here got himself, 30% increase. And because he's leveraging these and he's buying the right things. Look at that Indiana Cardinal up $73. It's up 50% from when he got it. Okay, I'm just looking at the screen. So if you're in between investments and you have cash sitting in a bank, the smartest thing to do is use your Sound Money wallet app, which is included as your membership, and you convert that money from your bank account into your Sound Money cash vault, and then buy gold and silver eagles with that cash. Now it's parked as an eagle. Then when you want it out later, you sell however much you need. Let's say you need $5,000. You sell $5,000 worth, and then you put it in your bank account. Now you have it to use. The end of this quarter, this year, they are adding a debit card backed by a major bank. I'm not allowed to say the name of, but you would know the bank if you heard it. And what this bank is doing is allowing it to hook to your gold and silver eagle balances. So you could walk into a store, like a grocery store, buy $180 worth of groceries, use that card, and it would take the 180 from either your cash balance, your gold balance, or your silver balance. You pick. And that is phenomenal. That's just so huge. It's crazy. Then I was asked, what kind of gold or silver do you buy? The kind you buy is eagles. Okay. As far as if you wanted to know what percentage you would get, that's up to you. And I'm not going to give financial advice. I do 75% silver and 25% gold. That's just me. Other people 50-50. Some people do 100% silver because silver is more volatile, meaning when it does go up, it goes up faster and you get a return on investment. And so, yes, you use your Sound Money wallet, which is a feature you get. If, Michael, you don't know how to use it, which if that's the case, text us privately because you have me and Stephen's numbers, and I'll be happy to walk you through that. And as far as getting cash back, the answer is no. It's instant. I want to be really, really clear here. If you make a sale from your balance, you get the cash instantly. And then the only holdup would be transferring the cash into your bank account. Sometimes that takes 1 day, sometimes 2, but you've got to wait a day or 2. Now, if you are planning to need cash quickly, don't put it into gold and silver because, in other words, don't buy bullion on Monday with the intent of taking it out on Thursday because that's not enough time for the market to do its adjusting, right? And there's a spread between the purchase price and the sale price. So meaning you'd have to wait for gold to go up. Silver, let's say silver, let's say the spread on the buyback, you pay $39 to buy an eagle. When you go to a coin dealer, they're going to give you spot, which is 22 minus 10% usually. as a fee. So you're going to get a net of $20 an ounce. But if they don't take that spread out, you get still 22. And if you're paying 39, that's a $17 difference between the purchase price and the sales price. So you are not trying to buy bullion to flip. You don't do that. You hold it. Now, when gold or silver goes up 50% or 100%, silver is probably going to hit 40, 50, $60 according to every expert I've ever read before the end of the year, if not by the end of summer. Obviously, then that spread gets wiped out. You're still profitable. So if you're planning to need the money anytime soon, just keep it in cash. That's fine because you won't have time to lose too much. But if you're talking about 6 months or a year, by all means, feel free to go put it into metals. And bullion and collectibles, the question was self-directed IRA. And Madeline, it's a great question. I want to answer that live right now because this is something the U.S. government allows is gold-backed IRAs or silver, but they must be in the form of eagles and in the form of bullion only. You cannot keep collectibles in a self-directed IRA. So let's make that very clear. But bullion you can't keep a silver bar in your IRA. It has to be gold or silver eagles. That's all that they allow. Now, on the even a better spin than that is really good for people to know is there is no taxable reporting on gold and silver eagles when you buy them or sell them. And this is by law. So this is not something I'm making up. It's a fact. And that means if you have a gain on your eagles, you do not have to report that gain by law. Talk to your CPA if you don't believe me, but you should believe me because I've talked to CPAs and I know. Then that's how that goes. Okay. So Michael, thanks. We'll definitely be talking to you. It's a game changer, especially when you get that card, and it's phenomenal. You do lose the spread. So there's always a buy and sell price. So whatever that buyback price is for the day, that's what you're going to get. But those change daily also, along with the spot price of gold. So I hope I've made some good points here, but let me share with you something that I've been doing as a side gig, just for a little fun. I have multiples of certain coins. Okay, I bought multiples of them. One was a Miles Standish USS Arizona 1 ounce silver coin, and I paid like $1.99 for that 1 ounce. Now, in forms of bullion, 1 ounce of silver paying $1.99, you'd think I had my head up my ass. But the reality is, it's not bullion. It's a collectible graded coin. It costs over $50 just to grade an individual coin. So that gets added into the price. Then you have the weight of silver, which get added, but then you have the artistic nature and the limited edition. There were less than 2,000 of those coins printed or minted. I bought two, and I bought them in December. I knew they were going to go up. I just sold that one that I paid $1.99 for. I just sold it for $4.95 on Stack and Sell last week. So I more than doubled my money in 6 months. So to me, that's a 200% annual return. Now, I'm still have one of them. And if it goes up double or triple more, I might even sell it then and make more. And that's why sometimes we get two. I sometimes buy two of the state animals because some of them are going up quite a bit. What's Jason trying to say? 152.88 for a 10th ounce round. Are we talking gold or silver? Oh, platinum. No, that was platinum. That was platinum. Platinum is 152.88 for a 10 ounce round. Okay, platinum every now and then becomes available at 7K. And I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll share one more screen with you all.
Here, I got it up, Scott. I'll pull it up for you, just the products. So these things, this is fun. These change. So you see on here, this is dealer direct pricing. So these change every day. So you can see they have different jewelry pieces. They come out and stuff, but let's just look at the actual coins. So today they only have 2 different types of gold available, but I was on here last week and they had literally like 4 different rows. Oh, they have some more gold down here. So this changes literally every day though. So 7K only sells what they have in stock. So if you see it on here, it's available, ready to ship to you immediately. As soon as it's sold out, it disappears or it'll say sold out. And every morning you come on, this changes. And then throughout the day, they sell out. So you can say today, a lot of this stuff's already sold out. So I don't know what time do they change this? Do you know, Scott? Is it like
Uh,
8 a.m. or
it-
something?
I've seen them when I wake up, and I've seen them at the end of the day change.
Okay, yeah.
They
It
never
seems like
change.
throughout the day they change too. So
Yes.
you can go on here and buy a kilo of gold right now, buy just a 1 ounce gold coin, a monster box of 500 American Silver Eagles. Again, American Silver Eagles are the coin to own if you're going to own like bullion. So it's the only one allowed for self-directed IRAs, for instance, and it's the most well recognized. Otherwise you get into things like bullion, like different types of silver coins. Like I was looking down here, like this Britannia and Royal Arms. You can see the prices. 25 1 ounce coins is 700 versus, I don't know if they have any other silver eagles on here right now, but the silver eagles would be about 38 a pop. These are about 27 a pop. So it's still 1 ounce of silver. It's just that's where the silver eagles bring the value.
Yeah, it's not an eagle. You can't. It's apples and oranges. It's just bullion,
Right.
and bullion. It's still above spot, And there's 25 of these, 25 ounces. So if you divide 6.99 by 25, that'll tell you the per ounce price.
Right.
And while you're at it too, I want to talk about that thing the lady was telling me about from last week. She was afraid she didn't have enough money. If you buy a tube of Eagles for let's say these are rounds for 569. She's like, what if I don't have 569? Well, don't buy one. Look at that. You can get something for $30. Don't tell me you can't afford $30. Everybody can. And if you don't believe you afford $30, give up a cup of Starbucks once a day and see how
There's
much
six
money you get.
bucks.
Yeah, that's a 10th ounce there. Yeah, so you can buy any amounts. And as far as Eagles go, in your Sun Money wallet, you can buy $1 worth of
There's that
gold or
platinum
silver.
one, the platinum
Oh,
they were
there's,
talking about.
yep, there you go. 1/10 ounce right there. So anyway, I hope you all here. Why don't you put up the link? If any of you are new to this call, you're intrigued by this, and you would like to chat with myself or Stephen more, then follow this link. The Stephen is going to put in the chat again. It's linktr.ee. That is the weirdest damn thing. /7K promo. But if you go there, you can click on the calendar, set up a conference call with us. We'll be happy to answer questions, chat with you, tell you more. I know enough that I could probably be on stage talking for 3 hours straight and not even take a breath. I try to warm you up to things you've been. If you learned something new on this call that you did not know, put a 3 in your chat. I would like to at least see if this was valuable to you. Even people who've been on other calls of mine, I recognize some names. They still are putting 3s in.
I
Excellent.
can't believe I just looked and it's after 4 o'clock. That was like the fastest hour ever right there.
Yeah, I mean, time is wrapping up.
I had no
Hey,
idea.
if you'd like some more immediate results, everybody, get your pen out. I hope you've been taking notes and write down this number 651-210-2288. That is, and text the word 7K to that number. That is Jesse. And Jesse has been on this call. She's in the background. She's been texting some things to you guys. She works with Stephen and I to help talk to people, set this up. You can also do the exact same thing by going to that link that Stephen put on there and set up on a calendar a time, and we can arrange whatever works for you. But if you wanted to, if you're interested in becoming a member, being interested in perhaps accumulating gold or silver, either in a defensive bullion format or an offensive collectible format. In our cases, every one of us, we do both. We do offense and defense. As you saw, Stephen has a collection. I showed you just parts of mine, and you get the idea. But if you'd like to be a member, we'll tell you how. It takes 5 minutes. It's real simple. You go to a web link and just enroll. So we'll tell you anything else you need to know. If you have any last questions, somebody is anonymous and said, can you put your 7K auto ship on hold for a bit? The answer is at any time you can stop it. It will automatically ship on a given day of a month. Like let's say it's the 8th of every month. Then you would get a coin. but you could also change the date. So let's say you were on the 8th and you decide, nah, I want to wait another month. I'll go back to the 1st. So let's say today is the 6th, and you're going to get a coin in 2 days, but you decide, no, I think I'll postpone that for until the 1st of next month. You could do that too. So I don't recommend this because I'm going to say one thing. Um, Oh, hold on a second. Cindy, your question, I have to change. You just asked me two questions, and I'm going to answer this one before I go back to the other one. Is if there's no tax gain on a silver eagle, what's the point of putting it in an IRA? Oh my gosh, here is the dead nuts answer. Is if you're in an IRA and you're in the stock market right now, you are running a tremendous risk. If you've got your money into an annuity, you're limited on what you can make. If you put it in eagles, silver or gold, the price of silver and gold are going up while the value of the US dollar is going down. So let's just say the dollar is worth $1 right now, and gas is at $5 a gallon. If gas goes to, I'm just going to use easy math because I'm challenged. If gas goes to $10 a gallon, that means the value of your dollar was cut in half because it's going to take twice as many dollars now to buy that 1 gallon of gas. You're with me, I'm sure, on that. But while the value of the dollar goes down by half, silver is likely to be doubling. And even if it doesn't, what if it only goes up 10%? Heck, what if it doesn't go up at all? Then when you sell it back, you're going to get more for your eagles in dollars because the dollar is buying less. Does that make sense? So you'll convert it back for more dollars than what you put into it. And it's going up faster than the stock market now. It's going up faster than any other investment I can think of right now.
I'm a big fan of looking at the alternative, just like you're saying, Scott. Like, your options in an IRA are limited. So you keep it in a stock market, you're going to lose a bunch of money in the coming years. You keep it in cash to protect it, you're going to lose a bunch of money because of inflation. Cash is eroding right now. So you stick it in precious metals in there and let it climb until it's at the top. And then at that point, trade it back for the worthless dollars or back in the stock market when about it. That's a huge thing.
Yeah, I hope that answers. Cindy, this is really something you should look at. But again, it doesn't really matter how much or how little you're playing with. If you have money in an IRA, let me give you a fact from a guy who is world renowned. His name is Ray Patterson. He's written books. He is a financial advisor, financial planner. He's been buying gold and silver for decades. He is the world's authority, as far as I'm aware, on financial planning. He says that in the last 3 months, the average 401k that Americans have their money in has lost 33%. You've lost a third of your savings because of what they're invested in, which is typically stocks and annuities or mutual funds. But gold and silver in those same 3 months have stayed at least the same. And 3 months ago, it was a lot higher than it is right now. We're at a great buying plateau to leverage your acquisitions. So it's like, would you rather lose 33% or keep 33%? And that is why people want their IRAs. And Stephen can work with you with Horizon Trust to get that done with you. And you can find out more information when you go to that link or text 651-210-2288 for Jesse, okay? I know people have been starting to drop off because we've gone past an hour. I could, like I said, go on forever. So Stephen, it's your call at this point.
No, I'd say we wrap up. I mean, if anybody wants to learn more about the opportunity, I mean, can they join us tonight at 8:30?
Oh, you got a great point there. There is a live Zoom call tonight at 8:30 Eastern, which kind of goes from soup to nuts on the problem, the solution, and also making extra money. Uh, Anybody who's left on this call, let me know if you have you would like to get actually paid residual income every month, whether it be $100 or $1,000 or even more. Put something in the chat box right now. Yeah, Stephen, I agree. You there, dude.
I never
Uh,
say no.
Never say no to that. And you know, guys, we there is an ability to make some extra. Yes, it was a question, Cindy. Would anybody like to make some extra income over and above just waiting for the metals to go up, or over and above flipping them on stack and sell? And if the answer is yes, go to the Linktree link 7K promo that was in there several times, and it'll show you the link for tonight's Zoom call. It's not like this one at all. We're talking to a very select group of people about a very select subject. In terms of the Zoom tonight that you go on, myself and a man named Tony Hubbard are going to be hosting this Zoom webinar, and it's got slides to show you. It's got facts, it's got figures, it's got explanations. We want to invite you onto that call tonight. So I don't know, you can post that link right now. Jesse probably has it.
Right there. They just click on that link I put in there, the 7K promo. It's right there on there for them.
Hey, why don't you just do that? I'm going to do that. Do that with a screen share, just so people can see what they're going to see.
That link.
Yeah, click that link. I just did it. I'll just share my screen.
Yeah, I got you. It's real easy.
So
when you click there, you can. So if you want to chat with us, you can just put in your information, and we'll give you a call. Just put it. It'll submit it over to us, or text 7K to the number so we can set up a call. This is that you can. This is to register for the Thursday, which you guys are already here now, but this is good. If you share this with anybody else, they'll know about this weekly webinar. They'll know about the nightly webinars that we're doing every single night. What do you guys do on Monday through Thursday, right? But I saw them going on over the weekend this weekend too. So I think there's even more. And then the playlist for everything's right there. So everything's right here for you guys. You can follow us on Facebook and everything. So
so this bottom one is for tonight. So you can get
there.
the information, this bottom one for tonight. And if you click that, it'll launch you right in. But it's not going to be open until 8:30 Eastern, or just a few minutes before. And so you can come to this link, click on that, and get it. I will point out one other thing before I go, is Stephen, I really appreciate you for having me on and talking to people. I love helping people. I do this full time. And everybody will benefit. If you'd like to learn more, definitely schedule a time or text Jesse or go on tonight's webinar. It's totally different. It'll have a lot of facts and figures. Let me give you one that I often don't talk about on Thursday nights, and I'll leave this as a closing thought. The U.S. Silver Eagle in the MS70 graded state. I was trying to look for my eagle again just to hold up. This is not graded. This is bullion. But if it was in one of these holders and graded MS70, if you collected one of those every single month since they came out in 1986, you'd have like 436 coins or something like that. 36 years worth of Silver Eagles. Would have cost you about, well, if you just had bullion, you'd have about $15,000 worth of bullion sitting in front of you right now. If that's all you did was get a regular bullion once a month, and you'd have 15 grand today. However, if you had bought a Silver Eagle that's graded MS70 once a month, you'd have $1,600,000 worth of collectible coins. 1.6 million. That's the difference between an MS70 versus a bullion. That is why collectibles are offensive, bullion is defensive. And this is why we have a monthly autosaver coin, because these are already going up. Can you imagine what they're worth 10, 15, 20 years from now? Give them to your kids, give them to your grandkids. Or if you have extras, flip some of them for some cash like I do. So there's a lot of options for you. I hope that helps. But guys, what if your parents started collecting silver graded eagles in 1986 and left them to you? That would be better than probably any inheritance you would have gotten otherwise. 1.5, 1.6 million? That ain't bad. Yeah, and if you want to fight with your siblings over who gets what, you can split it up and still walk away with a bunch of cash. Not that I'm telling you to do that. I'm just saying it could be done. All right. Any last questions? anybody has, throw them in the Q&A, stick them in the chat. But one thing, don't let this opportunity slip by. Stephen and I have made a lot of money doing this. You can too. And we're telling you to do something we're already doing. So schedule an appointment with us and or get on tonight's Zoom call. And we look forward to helping you not just get to the top, but get over the top. As
Love it,
Stephen
Scott.
Nagy used to like to say. All right. Thank you so much.
Good stuff, guys. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you here this time next week. Have a good one. Thanks, Scott. See you soon.
Bye-bye.